Hey, it's Guido coming at you with a tactics talk, and thanks for watching. Loaded in here to Abbey, my Tier 9 German heavy tank, the 4502 Bravo. Great tank. Tons of front armor. And off we go. I'm going to head over here to the west side. We are going to call this one Do What Purples Do. Do what the purples do. And I'll get to that in just a moment. As we move forward, I'm going to go chipmunk speed. You can see that right off the bat, the majority of our power has elected to go over to the west side. The east side is relatively weak, which I have noted. A little more chipmunk speed here. And there's a defender, and I expect to see quite a few big tanks over this way. So I'll come into this corner. I don't want to hang out that corner too much if I can help it. If I can get up over here, then I minimize the possibility of getting nuked by the 55-58. And as long as there's nothing big staring down this alleyway, I can move up. Well, now there's something big, but at least I've got up where I can start working. That was an ill-advised shot. We'll go back to standard speed. So getting back to the do what purples do, there's nothing especial about where I am right now. That was a special shot right into his mantlet, which is never going to do anything. Although I got a critical, so maybe I hurt his gun. There's nothing very purplish about this. Lots of people would go this direction. You can tell that they've pushed up hard, though, up on my right. So that's a little bit unusual for how the fight develops over here. The other team is quite passive. The Mouse is pretty good, but I don't think he's got a lot of good help with him. I'll finally get a decent shot where I put it into the flat plate there on the side of his turret, which is, with gold and decent pin, is a weak spot, although it's not as weak as it once was. And now I've got to work around this 4502, which don't know why he's pushing out in front of everybody, and then the Scorpion runs up here and gets in front of me. I'll shoot that, and he's angled, so that was probably going to have a hard time going through. We'll come up here and we start working. Now, a lot of you have probably been watching the mini-map while I've been talking. So if you take a look over on the east, we have an interesting situation developing over there, don't we? So this is one of those Ring Around the Rosie games, student body right, or left in this case. We took a large force and went west. They took a large force and went east. And I said, do what the purples do. So I'm going to come in here, finally get another piece of damage on that guy, and the T-32 is going to die. And then, I think some of you can see what's probably going to happen here. Now think about it for a moment. If you were in this game, what would you do right at this moment here? What would you do right at this moment here? So we talk about do what the purples do. What does that mean exactly? Well, from an overarching standpoint, it means gathering the SA that you've got. So mini-map, your position, your tank, their tanks, your team's disposition. All right, so that's gathering all the info that you've got. Then analyzing the situation that you're looking at. What's the situation? We've pushed through. We're probably able to get near their cap, but they're about to jump on our cap. They've probably got a few tanks still left camping their cap. They've got some fast tanks that could get back. Understand that this cap is quite open, especially as you push up over this little ridge and get up on cap. It's very difficult to get on cap. They also own the castle, which can shoot onto the cap. All right, so both caps are difficult to take, especially with this many guns left in the game. So that's the situation. Then you need to select the correct response for the situation. What do you think the correct response is? Let's find out what my team thinks the correct response is. Also, I'll come out to zoom. Pay attention to the two players that are going the direction I'm going, myself and the 140. What color are they? Sorry, 430. And the T10, thankfully, is following up. Green player. The rest of them are headed for the enemy cap. So you've selected the correct response. Now what? Execute the correct response. The correct response in that case at that point of this battle was for nearly everyone to turn around and get back to the cap. Now, I'm not going to say it is a 100% solution, but it is one of the closest to 100% solutions that occurs in this game. So there you go, the one ISU, a little camping action going on there. You can see the enemy team is pushing around, but some of them have gone back and taking on their cap, or our cappers at their cap, and we've lost a couple guys. They clean up the Tiger too. So as I was saying, it's as close to a 100% thing as there is in this game. Now, if you push a flank and win, and your other flank is holding or winning, by all means, push forward, flank, come from the side, do all that good stuff, come from behind, so to speak. That's all fine. But if you've got the ring around the rosy thing going on and you've won your flank, but they've also won theirs and are pushing hard for your cap, why would you trust somebody else on your team to keep them off your cap while you attempt to cap? Why would you do that, especially with this many guns in the game? I would contend that you shouldn't. So we're going to come around here. This is not the most amazing damage game. Looks like their JPZ is going to try to get up there and take out the cap. We are starting to win now, but we still got a bunch of guys hanging out on their cap. Come up in here, get another shot on that lower plate. RNG is my friend right now for those two shots in any event. And now you can see it's just two teams attempting to cap. This is ridiculous. I shoot right into this dead tank for some reason, unknown why. And we'll go chipmunk speed. Kill this guy off. And the faster tanks are going to get around and clean these guys up. Had myself in that 430 push their cap, it's quite likely they'd have capped us out. At the point at which I turned, though, I couldn't know how this was going to turn out. What I did know at that point was the correct answer was to go back to cap. So all those guys that pushed towards the cap, I think, made the wrong decision. There's an argument to be made for maybe a tank or two to get up into a position like this, or a position where they can kind of surveil the enemy cap, see if they can't catch some of these guys camping, shoot them in the side. Absolutely. But for the entire team to try to rush up and get on cap with as many guns as was left at that point on the enemy teams, that was just simply the wrong decision. So that's where I get to, guys. Do what a purple does, and that is a concrete example of a situation where you gather SA, you analyze that situation, you select the correct response, and then you execute the correct response. And during that entire sequence, you're still gathering SA, and if it changes, all right, the situation changes or the response changes, then you need to react at that point. I hope this helps. We'll catch you guys later.